I just noticed that the glare is like right here and you can't even see the problem. All right, this says x to the fourth plus x to the third plus 8x plus 8. Hopefully you have your notes and you can see that, but this glare is terrible. All right, so usually, okay, so first of all, we need to know how many solutions there are, how many roots, okay? And what we just learned with the fundamental theorem of algebra is that we look at the degree of the polynomial and we have 4. All right, now we want to find all the solutions, and usually when I see a polynomial with 4 terms, I automatically look to see if I can factor by grouping. And it just so happens that I can on this one. So if I cut it down the middle, I look over here and I can factor out an x cubed. So I'm left with x plus 1. And over here I can factor out an 8. And I'm left with x plus 1, which is very nice. And I've got x plus 1 times x cubed plus 8 equals 0. Can I factor it anymore? Why, yes, Mrs. Oldham, you can. Very good, class. So I have a perfect cube plus a perfect cube, and that is a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay, for this one. So let's go ahead and factor that. I'm just going to just drop this one down. So I've got x plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 4 equals 0. Great. All right, so now what multiplies to give me 4 that adds to give me -2? Nothing. You're right. So, what is the only thing I can do with a trinomial in this form to solve x? X equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yep, it's the musical lesson today in SM3. Yep, we got to use the quadratic formula. B is 1. No, it isn't. Just kidding. A is 1. B is -2. C is 4. So we've got -2. That makes it a +2. Plus or minus the square root of, okay. This is where I really want you to pay attention if you're not. Okay, a lot of people, this is b squared, and I go, oh, b is -2. A lot of people want to just throw that in their calculator, -b squared. I'm sorry, -2 squared. If you put that in your calculator just like that, if you do this, -2 squared, your calculator is going to square that 2 first, using order of operations, and then they're going to slap that negative right in front of it. And you're going to get -4. And that is not what it is. It's -2 squared. B squared, this number right here in your quadratic equation, should always be positive. All right? Okay, so this is -2 squared. So that's 4 minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 4, over 2 times 1. Okay, so we've got 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 16. That's -12 over 2. Okay, little side, we're going to just go over here, and we're going to simplify -12. So hopefully you see, because I have a negative under here, it's going to be an imaginary number. So I'm going to break this down into -1, the square root of -1 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Square root of -1 is I. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 3 is the square root of 3. That's all it can be. Well, I mean, we could do a decimal, but we're not going to do that. All right, so I'm going to come back over here, and I have x equals, and I'm also going to put this, I'm going to put the denominator under both terms, okay? So I've got 2 over 2 plus or minus, and usually we put the 2 in front of the I. So I've got 2i times the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so hopefully you see that my 2's actually cancel. So I'm left with x equals 1 plus or minus I root 3. Okay, so let's find my 4 roots. I got one right here. What value of x makes this 0? -1. What value of x makes this 0? -2. Those are my 2 real roots. And now I've got my 2 imaginary ones. I have 1 plus I root 3, and I have 1 minus I root 3. Ta-da! So what do you think this is going to look like? If these are real roots, these are imaginary, these are the only 2 that are going to cross the plane. The x-axis. Now, I know that my end, usually when I show x to the 4th, I show it looking like a W, but it doesn't necessarily have to look like a W. Okay? But the end behavior is going to go up like this. All right? And it's only going to cross in 2 places. And that is right here. So this looks like this. And you can see it's not a parabola. It comes down like this, and it goes, obviously I'm making it more than it is, but it comes up and it curves. All right? So it's not a parabola, but that's what it looks like. And you can see it crosses at -1 and -2. All right. I have one for you to try. There's a typo in the, well actually, if you got the notes in class, there's a typo. If you're printing them off, you should be okay. But I want you to try this, and you will do, I'm going to do it on the next video because I'm running out of time, okay? So I will have the answer for you on the next video.